very depressed. I said, why? Big excavator, big foundations all over the place. And he buys a lot of equipment. And he comes to me a couple of months ago. I've told the story, but it just is very emblematic. And he said, you know, Donald, I'm really disappointed because I always bought Caterpillar equipment, cats. But this time I bought Komatsu. Now, I know Komatsu. It's fine. It's not as good, by the way. It's not as good, but it's fine. He said, I've always bought Caterpillars. I bought Komatsu. And he buys big orders. He's a very big contractor. And he said, I hated to do it. But they've so manipulated their currency, and they gave me such an unbelievable deal that I had to buy Komatsu as opposed to Caterpillar. And you see what's happening with Caterpillar, and you see what's going on, and he felt very badly. But he said, I owed it to my family, I owed it to my employees, I owed it to myself and the company to make a great deal. He said, they can't compete. And it's because of what they do with their currency. You know, Japan has a very strong leader now, Abe, and we have representatives, Carolyn Kennedy, okay? It's a very nice, oh, we're in Massachusetts. And you know that story, I tell that story. She wanted a job, she went to the White House, she said, I'd love to work for the administration. A couple of years ago. They said, oh, what would you like to do? I don't know. They said, would you like to be the ambassador to Japan? This was on 60 Minutes. Did everyone like my performance on 60 Minutes? Amazing. It was great. You know who? Okay. And who was I on with? My stablemate, Putin. Trump and Putin. Oh, did I take heat? But he's fine. I'll bet I could get along with him great. I'll bet you wouldn't have these problems. I'll bet you I would get along with. A lot of people say, oh, Trump said he'd get along. Wouldn't that be better than what we're doing now? Wouldn't that be better? And honestly, if he wants to bomb the hell out of ISIS, I'm okay with it. It's not going to bother me too much. It really won't. It really won't. Instead of us being in another quagmire for the next 25 years. But it was interesting. So Carolyn Kennedy, they said, would you like to be ambassador to Japan? She goes, really? You have to see it. If you check 60 Minutes, this is what I'm saying. And she's a very nice person, I think. My daughter likes her, Ivanka, so I like anybody that Ivanka likes, I like. Okay? It's one of those things. But she said, really? Now I see her wheeling and dealing, meaning she's being feted. She's being all over there, whining and dining her. And, you know, I mean, they are just ripping us. I want a Wall Street guy who's so vicious and so smart and so cunning. So cunning. I mean, I know guys that are brilliant, but they're brutal. You will not want to have dinner with them. You would not like them. You won't. Who cares? We're so tired of these people now that are just killing us. I know people that are so smart. You leave them with Japan. Don't worry about Abe. My guys, they won't be having much dinner, believe me. And if they do, they're going to pay for it. We're not paying for it. I'll tell you. No, they're good because they're natural. They're natural. It's like a great golfer. It's like Jack Nicklaus. You know, why did he make the putts? It's like Tom Brady. Great, right? Why is he better? Who the hell knows why he's better? He's a great guy. Who knows why he's better? Who knows? He just plays better. And they play better under pressure. You know, the great ones, you look at the great ones in sports, and the great thing about sports, it's a microcosm of life, but it's easier to understand. But you look at the great ones, they do better under pressure, whereas most people wilt, right? We see it all the time. They wilt. I know the best. These guys are the best. And some are nice, like about 2% of them. I don't care. I have Carl Icahn, great businessman. He wants to do a lot. I have so many people. Ever since I went to #1 of the, I have the biggest guys and the best guys. Now, I know guys that aren't as big, and they're better. I know people that are totally overrated. I know people you never heard of. They're better than all of them. But we will have the greatest trading teams. Nobody's going to be losing $400 billion a year to China. Nobody. Nobody's going to be losing. We're going to have victories. And we're going to be liked. I've made great deals with China. I own the Bank of America building, big chunk of it in San Francisco, great building. Got it from China. I beat them. I mean, I just did a great deal. And China was essentially on the other side. A little complicated because you went through 15 different routes. Complicated stuff. 1290 Avenue of the Americas, one of the biggest buildings in New York, biggest floor plates. And China. So many things I got from China. I have tenants in my building. The biggest bank in the world is from China. They're a tenant. So much. China's great, but they don't respect us. I go to dinner with the richest people in China. I mean, people that pay me a fortune for apartments, and they're friends of mine. They're great people. They say that they cannot believe what China is getting away with in this country. They tell me that. Now, that was before I announced I'm running. Now they say, I was only kidding. I was only kidding. It's true. It's really true. But they can't believe it. So, if I win, we will go. I know. That always happens. I love you folks. But you got to say, I want to be the power of positive thinking. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. Great book, right? Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. But look, I'm running against a lot of people. Somebody said, oh, what a fine group. I'm trying to find out why. Why? Where? Who? Bobby Jindal? I mean, you look at, that's Alfred E. Newman. Do you ever hear of Alfred E. Newman? Mad Magazine, Bobby Jindal. I swear, he looks just like him. It's true. Think about that, right? Isn't that true? The guy's got 0. Pataki. He couldn't be elected dog catcher. He's got 0. Lindsey Graham comes after me. He was a nice guy, then he comes after me. A month ago, goes from 5 to 0. So far, everybody that's come after me has gone down, right? Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. No. I mean, Lindsey Graham, I'm at 38, I think, in South Carolina. He's at 3. He's a senator. His career's over. I really believe it's over. But why do they keep going? Think of it. They have no chance. They have 0. They have 1. They have 2. Why do they keep going? There's something I don't understand. If I was one of them, I would crawl quietly out. I'd probably tweet. I've decided to get out of the race. I wouldn't have a news conference. No, it's true. I'd tweet. I've decided I'm going to get out of the race. And then I'd sneak out to some place with my wife and I'd just go away. They have 0. And now they're going to go in the child stage. You know the child stage? They call it the children's stage. That's for the debate. It's an incredible thing. By the way, you saw what happened. So we're going to have a 3-hour debate. And I give credit to CNBC, by the way. I give credit to them. Because they had guts and they did the right thing. But I said, wait a minute. We had a 3-hour debate last time. By the time it was over, I could stand up for 20 hours. I could do it all night long. Standing here for 2 hours, this is a lot tougher. But I could stand up. But you know what? People sitting home, they don't want to watch 3 hours. Hillary, we were watching her for an hour and a half. And it was boring as hell. Who the hell wants to watch for 3 hours a debate? So we actually called Ben Carson and myself. We wrote him a letter saying, listen, if you're going to have it 3 hours, we're not going to participate. I want to have a good show. I want to have it be good. It's not about me. And I'm speaking for everybody, but they have no power because they have no polling, right? I'm representing the politicians. Can you believe it? And we won. Everyone said, you can't do that. You can't dictate. No, we won. Because you know what? It made sense to CNBC. And they're right. It'll do better. It'll be much better. But, before I got involved, those debates used to do no business. Nobody cared about them. I'm not bragging. Yeah, I am. Why not? It's true. Before I got involved, they did nothing. Poorly rated shows. So then I got involved, and they figured, well, they'll probably have 6, 7, 8 million people. They had 24 million people in Fox, the biggest in the history of cable. And the number's actually higher now because, they get the final numbers and they're higher. Then CNN goes on. They had almost 24 million. Listen to this one. The biggest number in the history of CNN. This isn't Donald Trump. Where they say, oh, Trump, I don't exaggerate. Believe me, I exaggerate a lot less than people think. They had the biggest rating in the history of CNN. And they took the price for ads from $4,000, you read this, to $200,000 and $250,000. So they made the debate so long. Who can blame them? But I give a lot of credit to CNBC. They said we have to do the right thing. And 2 hours is the right number. I mean, it's long. It used to be 1 hour. You know, when it started, it would be 1 hour. And they're going to do great. Everybody's happy. So that came out just a little while ago, so we're happy about that. Yeah, you know. I just want to end by saying that it's so amazing. Wherever I go, we're having crowds like nobody's ever seen. I have a couple of folks that work for me, George and Corey and a lot of different people. And they've been doing this for a long time, many years. And I was asking him tonight, have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, you know, George has been doing, how long, George? 25 years, right? Get up here, George. Get up here. Get up here. Corey, get up here, Corey. Get up here, Corey. These guys, they've been doing it for a long time. And I asked them the other day, because we had another one where you had 8,000 people. They couldn't get them in. Same thing all over. They go around with closed-circuit televisions because we have rooms. We have 2 other rooms going tonight and outside. Tell them, have you ever seen anything like this? And you better
Never.
say the right thing.
Unbelievable.
If he says the right thing, George, you're fired. Get out of here. No, but he said before, he said, I've been doing this for a long time. I've never seen anything like it. And what we have is we have a movement. This isn't like a normal situation. I mean, honestly, Hillary down the road, and I said, you got to make sure. You got to make sure. Find out, what did the papers write? She just left. She had 250, right? I told you, 250 people. We have thousands. When I'm finished here, I'm going to 2 other rooms, and then I'm going outside. I'll never get out of here. No, it's true. It's true. And it's 2 other rooms this size. They're pretty big rooms. I actually said to my people, do you think you could find one really big room, please? But they can't. There is no place like that around here. So, yeah, we'll go to Gillette. We'll call Bob Kraft. Let's call Bob Kraft. Let's call. Good guy. And our coach. So you have Brady, you have Belichick, and you have Kraft. All good guys. Good guys. That's a good idea. Let's get Gillette. That's right. I would bet you we'd fill it. I would. You know, Mark Cuban called me. He owns the Dallas Mavericks. He said, you want to use our stadium, our big arena? This was on Thursday. I said, when? Monday. 4 days. I said, Mark, how many does it hold? Like 20,000. I said, how are we going to fill it? He said, I think you'll do it, actually. So I said, all right, so it's maybe going to be embarrassing. You know, having 1,000 people in a 20,000-seat arena is not good. You can imagine what the press, what these guys would do to me if that happened. So I took a chance. The first day we sold 16,000. The second day it was gone. The fourth day we went there and we had an unbelievable, we had 20,000 people. We had 35,000 people in Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, great people. We had in Oklahoma 2 weeks ago, we had 20,000 people in a park. And it was windy, so I wore a hat. But it is my hair, you know. We know. Very windy. I wore that red hat. But in Oklahoma, we had 20,000, and I think it was actually more than that, but we had 20,000 people. Up in New Hampshire, we're getting 4, 5, 6,000 people. They've never had, I mean, nobody's seen anything like it. And what I say, in Iowa, the biggest crowds they've ever seen in Iowa.